All right, hey everybody, 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins, September 5th, tropical update, and we have 5 tropical areas of interest out there for today. So let's just get started right away. I'm going to start with the one I think is most important, more than anything else, and that is this area that you see right in here. There's actually, it looks like a little bit of a low forming right here east of Galveston. You see that right in there? That's where it looks like the low surface low is trying to form. And you can see quite a bit of the rain wrapping around that. So is it getting organized? I mean, there's no central dense overcast right over top of the center. So not yet, but and it looks like this is probably not going to develop. But either way, it doesn't matter for us rain, because this is a rainmaker for Louisiana, especially eastern Louisiana, including New Orleans. But a big time rainmaker in this area. I'll go over the chances of that, but there's a frontal boundary sitting here, and it's likely to get absorbed eventually. Now let's go down here to the eventually southern Gulf of Mexico, but this is the Western Caribbean here. This is the wave that was out near the Lesser Antilles earlier this week on Monday, Labor Day. It was over here. Now it's sitting here. It's going to move over the Yucatan. It's not organized. It will get into the Bay of Campeche, the southern Gulf of Mexico, but from there, yeah, even a low chance. I think it's like 20%. A couple waves out here. We've got one just west of the Cape Verdes. We've got another here approaching the windwards. And then we've got this one up here. And look at this. This is 99L. Yeah, that's a little bit of a system there, but it too does not look like it's going to develop. So let's go ahead and talk about what the Hurricane Center has here. All right, so here is what it looks like now as far as all of the areas of invest. That one near Texas, Louisiana, 10% chance. This one down by the Yucatan, 20% chance. This one near Bermuda, 30%. In fact, that's the best chance, and that's moving northeastward out over colder water. This one by the Lesser Antilles, only a 10% chance of development, and then you've got a 20% chance for this one way out in the middle of nowhere. So nothing looks really good. Let's go to the Gulf of Mexico and this system here, and essentially what this thing has done, it kind of was sitting in here. It's gone like this. Now it's just kind of coming back like that. All right. So pressures have actually come up. 1,011 millibars recently. It was lower than that to begin with. But that's what it's done. The forecast models were just starting to run it on this. This is Invest 90L, by the way. And you can see that line right there. That's basically anything getting above that would be tropical storm force. And a couple models do that. Again, this is not really a wind maker. This is a rain maker for Louisiana. There is some shear that it's going to have to deal with, and in fact, the shear is just coming up over the next 48 hours or so. So this is, again, not a major development here, but certainly a rainmaker for that area. Now, this is the system between North Carolina, which is just off here, and then Bermuda, which is just off here. And you can see highly sheared environment. In fact, if you look close, it looks like the low-level center is right in there, and there is a ton of shear blowing off to the north and the east. It's literally blowing the center off. Forecast models do want to take this to the north-northeast over cooler water. Yeah, this is why I said maybe they could call it a subtropical storm, maybe if they wanted to. Hopefully they don't. Just leave it as it is. It's going nowhere. It's going to affect the shipping, if that. Let's talk forecast models now. This is the ensemble for the European model. Now, this is the wave that's now approaching the Yucatan, kind of down here. It's going to get in the Gulf of Mexico and then do something like this. There's also this wave here kind of going on. So we'll watch that over here over the weekend and early next week. But again, it's only like a 10 to 20% chance for a development on that. The bigger picture shows a couple more waves. Obviously, here's this one going up and out. You've got the one getting closer to the Lesser Antilles trying to go up and out. And you've got this one came up the Cape Verdes kind of come up and recurve as well. So, really good news. I mean, whatever. Seen something, nothing big. That was the European. This is the GFS, and you can see the GFS is very similar. It's got that wave that's approaching the Yucatan now, coming up and doing something like this, which is almost exactly what 90L did. It does try and take some moisture here along this old boundary and take it off to the north and the east. You always watch old boundaries that get stuck out over the Gulf of Mexico. What was that? I didn't want that. That gets stuck out here over the Gulf of Mexico. You watch right here for something to develop and move out to the north and the east. I don't think it's a big deal right now. I do think if you're in Florida, this boundary is kind of sitting here. I don't want that either. Let me get back here. This boundary is kind of sitting here, and eventually it's just going to get moisture and just drag it across, and then probably do, you see this right here? This is it developing a low and then taking it out to the northeast. All right, this low right here is basically some of this moisture here kind of drifting across at the beginning of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then trying to get out there and do that. Okay, now bigger picture for the GFS, very similar look. It's got our system here near Bermuda going up and out. Again, it tries to develop some moisture along an old boundary and take it up and out off the Carolinas. Here's number 1 falling apart, number 2 coming up and out. So, yes, there's a lot on the map right now, but no, there aren't any big threats out there, okay? This is the GFS model. Go ahead and put this into motion for you here. You can see our system here. Look up in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's Texas, right? There's Florida, Carolinas. Watch this little system here. Watch this system here going across the Yucatan, which is right there. All right, so put this into motion. This is, what day we got here? Saturday. See the moisture coming up Louisiana, maybe up towards southern Mississippi, Alabama. That low is actually backing down to the south, right? Still some moisture. Now, see that moisture? This is Sunday evening. Northern Florida looks like it's going to get a ton of rain out of this in the panhandle. And then eventually, I think that'll try and slide a little bit further to the south next week for central Florida. But we'll have to wait. Meanwhile, look at this is Tuesday. That right there is what was here, right? Coming back up. So it's just kind of replacing the one that was there. Meanwhile, look, you don't see anything else blowing up anywhere, right? You just don't see it. Let me go up here to, this is September 10th right here. That is the statistical peak of hurricane season. And you just don't see much really coming out of this. Now, see this moisture right here? This is a good example. This moisture right here, hung up on the old front, comes across and moves out like this, and then it develops. Watch this area right in here, okay? That moisture comes across, and then a low develops, and then it moves out. And it actually, if that were to happen, this is the GFS, I don't really believe it, but that would pull down some drier air for our neck of the woods. That's not this weekend, but next. So we're talking way out in time. This is the ensembles for the GFS. Again, look at this, guys. This is through Thursday. It's a week from today. Something maybe in the western Gulf of Mexico, nothing much. Really nothing. I mean, very quiet. You can see this wave coming across the lesser Antilles here and then trying to get up. Stay, looks like maybe east of the Bahamas. That's still a long ways out. This is the European forecast. Look at the upper left. A lot of rain, a lot of rain. That sinks southward, okay? Still, you got the moisture coming across the Yucatan trying to replace it. That maybe goes into Texas. That would be a week from yesterday. Now, this is key for the Florida weather because there's the boundary laid out there, right? That's going to be the best chance for rain. South of there, we won't see as much. We'll have to see where that ends up. That's still to be said. But again, this goes out through what? This is the 10th. No, nothing major. Right? This is Friday, a week from tomorrow. Nothing major out there. Now, it certainly doesn't mean the season's over. It definitely doesn't mean that, but it definitely means we're having a hard time getting things going. Here's what the European is grabbing that system between Bermuda and North Carolina and taking it out, of course. Look at the Gulf of Mexico. It is trying to bring out something right there and drift it to the south, kind of merge it with this system that's coming across the Yucatan now. This is Monday, this upcoming Monday. So we'll watch the Western Gulf next week. There comes another wave off of Africa. Let's see what it wants to do. Stay north, recurve. That's what it looks like now. Way out in time. But look, here's the thing. You know, most people live right in here, okay, in the United States at least, right in here. And here's where most of the models think the storms are, right? All over the place, but obviously you get the idea. So that's it. Now, real fast, let's take a look at this. This is the NJO, where you see this orange here. You wouldn't expect as much development. This green has rising air. You would expect development. This doesn't start until the 15th of September, but it goes all the way through the 15th of October. Now, I've shown you this before. I show you this every time I do an update, and I remember saying, well, by the 1st of September, it's going to be in the green. This is getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back by almost 2 weeks. So something is going on. It's pretty wild out there. Water temperatures are above normal, where you see the reds and the orange and the yellows here. But look at this. This is over the last week. We've had some water cooling here. Water cooling here. Obviously, we've had clouds and rain there. Water cooling here. That's where we've had one of our waves coming through. It went just through like this. So these waves, even though they're not forming, they are creating a little bit of cooler water in their wake, and we'll take that. La Nina, anything, well, really, when you get south of that line by 0.5, that's when you get into La Nina. Technically, we're almost there. But La Nina and then north of it, of 0.5 should be right here. This area here, here's where we are now, right? It's not just the water temperature. La Nina is cooler than normal by 0.5 degrees Celsius, and we've got that now, but it's also the cycles in the atmosphere, the circulations. So we're not quite there, but we are getting towards a La Nina. It looks like now, though, it may not peak until February, which we were thinking it might peak in, the models were saying September, October, or at least get fully into it. So it's falling behind as well, too. This is the European forecast model going out for about 2 weeks. These areas you want to watch for development. That's the only thing of concern I really see. So looking good so far. Don't forget to watch 10 Tampa Bay. We'll keep you updated on all of the tropics. Good thing that it's busy out there right now, but you know, busy I guess is relative, right? Because we don't have any major threats except for the rainfall in Louisiana. Enjoy it, guys.